work. This took several weeknights and multiple weekends. So you're going to see several plumbing related videos because we just can't cover everything in one go. This is a setup we inherited when we bought the van. There was an over-the-wheel well water tank and an IsoTemp square profile water heater, a timberline system, along with the air and water heat exchangers for that, and some piping had already been done. Overall, it's a pretty intricate water and air heating system. Here we've brought the original 80/20 frame into the garage. These were sized to allow for the dinette layout with the lift bed of the original build. You can go back to our new layout video where we walk through how we're changing up the dimensions of these frames for the garage layout. This is the beginnings of dismantling what was attached and figuring out where we were going to keep and how it would all fit in the new layout. There was also a black tank which would need to be installed for the original flush toilet. Really, this setup was totally fit for purpose for the original owners. And from what I've read, if you want the option of that dual heating system, this setup is a great idea. That IsoTemp and Timberline combo is a relatively small footprint. It's said to be reliable and efficient. We just decided we didn't need the redundant systems or a flush toilet for the type of camping that we do. So we've opted to maximize the small space and simplify the build. Now, here you can see the rebuilt 80/20 frames to fit our new layout. Yo's placed a plywood shelf that's just cut and sealed so far. That'll eventually get wrapped in a vinyl to match the flooring. He's built a mount for one of the two air heat exchangers here, so it sits just under that shelf. And then right above that is the Clear Source Premier Mini Water Filter. This is the 2 canister model. And to the right of the filter is the water heat exchanger. Here's where the real work started, the piping. Yo got a lot of inspo from Jeff Warnick at Thrive Vans. They have no idea who we are, but Jeff's got some great DIY videos if you're interested. And Johan wanted the piping to sit neatly in the frames and each with its own mini valve. It was a ton of work, took a ton of time, but it looks great and it's going to make maintenance or updates in the future a whole lot easier. Here's the outside panel. So this is what we'll access from the rear door. What he's setting up to install here is a kit from Aqua Water Systems. There's a water inlet to fill the tank, and that tank now sits underneath the van. The mixing valve to adjust the temperature, and the hose connector where, well, like the name suggests, we can attach a hose for the outdoor showers. Let's hear how he totally expected that I would get this wrong 100% of the time.
I was wiring, because you're left-handed, like you might want to go this way with your left hand, but you can't. It's only this way. So we're always going to be away from the wall, turning down to hook it up. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So the wall shouldn't really be in the way here. And I just wanted this on the left so it's easier to drain. I don't have to run it past the motor, the pump.
And here we're a bit further along in the install. Panels are covered and most of the components that we chose to keep are mounted. Yo's just showing me how he kept the pipes here short and will run braided lines from here to each of the components. It's just easier than trying to work with those rigid blue and red piping throughout this frame space. Then it was time for our first test run. We turned on the water pump to check water pressure and looked for leaks. We did on the first run here notice some water pooling just underneath the pump, and I had a tiny panic attack when it seemed that the pump wasn't kicking on, but it was a quick fix. Crisis averted, and we got some really good water pressure from that test. We even snuck in a quick trial run with both resized frames in the back and the mattress over top. So be sure to come back and see how the electrical side comes along. Thanks for watching. Glad you're here.